Today I've been working on some glove box doors, kind of restoring them, because once again, some of these parts are no longer available new, and if you have a malfunctioning glove box door, you may have to find a good used one if you're going to fix it. Now this is true with a lot of the Mercedes from about 1977 up to 1991, particularly the W123 chassis, which I'm holding here. And over here, I've got a glove box door of a W126 chassis. Now most of the problems you'll run into are with the W123 chassis. Those are the sedans, coupes, and station wagons that were built from 1977 to 1985 in the US market. So I thought while I was playing around with these that I should show you what I'm working on and show you a few things you need to watch for if you're having problems with your own glove box door, because they can be multiple. Particularly, it's really frustrating if the door won't close. I've seen people, put tape to keep the glove box door closed, or you push it up and then you have to mess with the latch mechanism here to make it stay closed. And if you're going down the road and you hit a bump, the glove box door falls open. Well, it can be fixed, and you can probably do it yourself. And in some cases, you can fix it without new parts or even replacement used parts. But I want to kind of show you what you should be looking for, what a properly operating latch mechanisms look like, and what one looks like that isn't working very well. I'm going to start out by showing you the W123 glove box. These are the ones that were produced from 1977 and 1985. Notice that the handle open and close, the box goes side to side. And when you turn the door over, you can see this catch mechanism up here can move that way and can move that way, and it's spring loaded that brings it back to center. So as long as this is working properly, you're not going to have a problem. Now I think they realized after some failures with the W123, when they introduced the W126 sedans in 1981, they changed the design. Notice here you lift up on the handle to release the latch mechanism, and the latch mechanism is a little bit simpler in design and less prone to failure, although these can jam and get real sticky, which means you need to get inside there and see what's wrong and possibly lubricate it. But with the W123, what happens is that something goes wrong down inside here with the spring mechanism and won't allow this latch to center. Every time you release the handle on the front side, it should go to center. Whether you push it to the left or the right, as soon as you release it, this should pop back to center. If it doesn't, that's when you're going to have problems keeping the door closed. So let me show you a couple here that I'm having problems with. This one here, watch this. It just goes back and forth like this, and there's no spring action at all. See that? So what happens is when you close this door, you've got to kind of move it into position, hope it catches the latch here in the center, and then if you hit a bump, it might move and then it'll fall open. So if you have one that's operating like this and not centering, you're going to have to take this cover off and get down in there and find out what's going on, and you may be able to fix it. Now sometimes you'll get a door like this one where it'll spring load to one side only, but the other side, look at that, it's jammed. See that? I cannot get it to move that way, so it's only moving off here to the right and going back to center. So as long as you remember you got to push the lever here towards the steering wheel, you're probably going to be able to continue to use this. But if you see this problem on your own W123 glove box door, you're going to probably have it fail here down the road. So you probably want to open this one up and find out what's going on inside before it fails. Now what you have to do is remove this screw, this screw, this screw, this screw. Then you have to remove these nuts. Now these are really weird. Notice they have two little slots. I can remember when I first started working on these glove box doors, I'd try to use a little pair of needle nose, or I'd use a little screwdriver and I'd try to tap a hammer to get it to rotate. So finally here a couple years ago, I just decided to build a special tool that goes right in here like this and gets a hold of that. And look at that. I can spin these nuts right in and right out. And you might be thinking, well, Kent, I don't think those nuts are that important. Why do you have to worry about them being able to tighten and loosen them so easily? Well, one of the things is that's the way you adjust the door. If the door is not fitting properly in the opening, you can loosen these up. Now watch as I loosen this nut up, and you can see that I'm going to be able to move the hinge around a little bit. See this? See, I can move it a little bit side to side, and I can move it in and out. So that's what will allow you to adjust your glove box door in the opening. If you notice it's not centered, then you need to loosen these two nuts. You loosen them just slightly, and you move it around until it's centered, and then come back in before the hinge moves. You're going to want to take this tool and tighten it back down. So you can imagine without this tool how hard it would be to sit here with a little pair of pliers or a little nail and a hammer trying to move this nut, loosen it, tighten it. It's just a real pain. So these two nuts are for the purpose of adjusting the door in the opening, but they also have to come off to remove this panel. I have a booklet which shows you how to take this all apart, but I have a kit which will show you how to go in there and reinforce that spring action so it doesn't cause you a problem in the future. What's happening is the spring in there pops off a pin, or the pin breaks. Now if the pin, there's a plastic pin in there, and if the plastic pin is broken, you will not be able to repair it with my kit. But if the pin's not broken and that spring keeps wanting to pop off, I have some tools and some hardware in my kit that will allow you to get in there and reattach that spring, and it won't come off in the future. That's true for the W123. Now for the W126, I don't have any specific kit to repair these because the problems are generally few and far between, and they can be related to lubrication. So if you're having some stiffness with this mechanism here, you'll need to remove this inner panel. Same thing, uses the same special tool, and the same as the 123. If you have a W126 and you want to adjust the door to fit properly in the opening, you loosen these two nuts and you can move the hinge. Now I should mention too, there's one of these doors that has been obviously damaged from somebody overly tightening those two nuts. See what's happened? Those nuts have pulled right through that plastic. If it's not too bad, you can put a little thin metal washer in there and just catch the edge of the damaged area. But sometimes if you see this on the inner panel of your glove box door, you need to find a replacement. Now these are not available new, but I do have some on my website used. I also have some good used glove box doors. In fact, that's what I'm doing. I've got like 5 or 6 left out of my entire stock. I'm just going through them, and the good ones I will put up on my website for sale. So you can check that out if you need a glove box door and yours is not repairable. And of course, you can purchase this tool on my website. It's very inexpensive and really handy if you have one of these W123 or W126 chassis.